colors are super vibrant. These are great. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Is It Worth It, where I go around the world and the internet looking for art supplies to make your journey in your artistic career just a little easier or a little bit more enjoyable. Now, today I am traveling back to Marshall's because I randomly find some really cool stuff at Marshall's. And one of the things that I found is, once again, our good friends at Kingart have some pro markers this time. And so this is a pro brush tip. They call them coloring brush pens. So I'm interested in these because it has the word pro in it. So I'm definitely interested in seeing just how professional these brush pens are and what makes this fantastic. And the main reason why I wanted to pick these up is because 24 brush pens for $12.99. Okay, so if these are actually really good and can hold up, then for $12.99 to get 24 markers, those of you who are actually getting markers and pens and stuff like that, you know that $12.99 is not a lot for 24 pens. Not a lot at all. So I'm very interested to see if, once again, the people over at Kingart have produced something really good. They haven't disappointed us in the past, but let's find out if they're actually worth it. Come on, let's go check them out. Okay, so with the Kingart coloring brush pens, it comes in this very nice, simple box, right? But it comes in a box, which is always nice. It tells us a little bit about it: fine, medium, or bold brush strokes, blendable ink, artist quality. Gives us the colors that are going to be in here, which is always nice. So if you're like, I don't like those colors, you don't have to buy it. When it says create fine, medium, or bold brush strokes with Kingart coloring brush pens, the flexible nylon tips make these pens perfect for hand lettering, calligraphy, cartoonish illustration, and watercolor effects. Made of a dye-based ink and odorless water-based solvents that are perfect for blending and layering colors for best results. Use on heavyweight uncoated paper or watercolor paper. All right, so there you go. So you know how we are on water-based markers. We tend to go meh because it tears up the paper. We are going to use it on this Bristol board. It is not meant for watercolor or stuff like that, but we're going to test it on that. And I'm going to go ahead and grab something real quick and grab some watercolor paper. That's marker. Okay, so then we have some watercolor paper right here, and then we'll try it on that as well. Okay, but we're going to start with the Bristol board just because, you know, for the most part, a lot of people don't go off and buy the correct paper, but we're going to test them both. Oh, right. So here is our pen set. Let's see if it. Yep. Okay. So it's got two. Right. Pull both of those out. All right. So it comes in a plastic container case. Whoops, this was upside down now. But this is what they look like out of the box. These are a lot thinner than most of the brush pens. Right, it's also a bit smaller, at least in my hands. Right, it's a little bit smaller, and so that's a little interesting. But you know, that doesn't mean anything. It's just it's designed a little bit smaller. These are. It does feel a bit plasticky. Okay, so you got to keep that in mind. Not as much as like the dollar store pen that we just reviewed, but it does still feel a bit plasticky. It has this grooved head on it so that it won't roll anywhere, so you don't have to really worry about it rolling too far, which is nice. It's got a nice snap or nice grip. Ooh. All right, so yeah, that is nice. Right, so you can once you snap it on there, you don't have to worry about it drying out because that seal is strong. Okay, and then we have this nice tip very clean, right? Big brush, nice tip on it, looks good. Okay, posts, and it's definitely on there, so it's nice and stuck, so you don't have to worry about it. So first things first, we're gonna try it on the regular paper. Oh, so it is a firm brush, right? The tip is still a bit flexible, but you can tell when you're trying bigger shapes and stuff like that it is more of a firm brush, which is nice. And I know, whoops, so I smeared it. That's my fault. Because it is a dye and water-based thing, you have to make sure that you leave it alone for a little bit. But as you saw, like, the flow of this is fantastic. It was like, whee! You don't even have to worry about it, right? The main thing when it comes down to it is when you're using water-based markers, right, is if you go over them a lot, it starts eating up your paper, right? And I mean, this is actually, that took a while to start tearing up the paper. So that's actually pretty nice. I guess it's the dilution of the dye, and it's not just water-based, so that's really nice. So it took a while, but these pens are definitely not, I don't think that these are meant for filling in big areas. These would be fantastic for, you know, calligraphy, journaling. These are really nice for that. Or if you're trying to, you know, just get something quick and easy, right? Like, you're not trying to get that very nice, clean, non-streak. You're just like, oh, you know, we're just gonna leave it like that, right? And so if you do this, then you can fill it in and it'll be fine. So like adult coloring books, this would be good. Anything that you don't have to go over it a lot of times, these are actually going to be really nice. So let's try a different color to see if the colors still hold up. Because like I said, these are, oh, they're so vibrant, right? Like, Kingart puts out some nice materials, right? And with the firmness of the brush tip, you can get some really nice different variety, right? Some thick, some medium, some thin, always coming off to a point, right? So that feathering is really nice. And the flow, the one thing that I always like about a good, or this telltale sign of a good marker, is the fact that it can flow. So you don't have to worry about, if I'm doing some intricate, some weird flowy design, I don't have to worry about the ink just randomly stopping. It's like, oh, well, too bad. So the Kingart is definitely, they've got that, and the colors are just so very nice. And I know that it said it's blendable, and we'll probably try to blend it on the watercolor paper. I would not recommend trying to blend it on just regular paper, because it will tear up your paper. Because even right here, this little dot right here, that's actually lumped up paper. So, but as far as being able to get some nice vibrant colors with these brush pens, it's very nice. Colors are super vibrant. These are great. All right, and so if you're, especially if you're just doing like random details and stuff, or you can just keep it going. Or if you're trying to just, right? So you can get a lot of color out of these. I mean, a lot of use and a lot of color, a lot of variety. These are really nice pens. I think that they'd work really well for journaling and making some adult coloring books. These would be really nice, especially since the colors are just so vibrant. Yeah, these are nice. They're just nice to work with, right? So if you're really trying to, like I said, if you're trying to get light colors or details or things like that, or you're just you're scribbling down notes, and you want different colors, these are absolutely fantastic. All right, let's see what it'll do on this watercolor paper, though. We'll continue. We'll just keep using different markers. Oh, wow. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Look at that coverage. Whoa. Okay, so putting it on the proper paper. Wow. Wow. That's wow. So because it just blends right into the paper, right? So you don't have to worry about it. And you just come in. Look at that. That's really nice. That okay. So see, bringing in the right paper so that you can actually just go straight down, right? If you take your time, you'll get super coverage. That is yes. So there you go. With these, you definitely want to get some mixed media paper or watercolor paper, because if you do, you can just come in and it just blends on its own. It's so nice. So let's see if we can pull. Whoops. Okay, I'm gonna try that again. All right. Okay, so we got that. I think this is the next one. Yeah. Okay. Well, no. I mean, it says that it's super blendable. I don't really see it. I'm like, I don't know about the blendable thing, because it doesn't seem like it's blendable with itself, right? Because if you do something like this, because I mean, look at that, right? That is nice coverage, nice even flow. Just it's very nice on like watercolor thick paper, to where the ink can actually do. Right, it can do its thing. Because look at that. That's nice on the watercolor. Right, it seems as though these pens work extremely well on watercolor paper. So, because as you saw, I mean, they work just fine on the regular Bristol board, right? But on this thicker paper where it can actually absorb and move and stuff like that, it works so much better. So definitely look into getting like mixed media paper or watercolor paper if you are going to get these pens. But yeah, look at that. All right, so we just got done reviewing the Kingart coloring brush pens, and I have to say they were really nice on just a regular Bristol paper, which you would probably find in using if you're not normally used to using water-based or dye-based ink. Then it tears up your paper, which it did eventually do, but for the most part it did nothing. Like, it was just a really nice way to do some journaling or calligraphy. If you are trying to do stuff like adult coloring books, that will be fine too, right? You just come in, and as long as you're not trying to go over it again and again and again, then it'll work just fine and not tear up any of your paper. But if you use watercolor paper or some paper that has a mixed media quality to it, that is really used for wet media, these are going to be fantastic. The coverage was great, the flow was great, the nib was firm, but still gave you enough flexibility to do really thick lines to really thin lines. And the I can't tell you, like, the vibrancy of these colors was absolutely fantastic. If you find yourself at TJ Maxx or Marshalls or Home Goods, look for Kingart art supplies in their stationery section, and go ahead and get you some of these pro coloring brush pens. They were $12.99 and they are absolutely worth it. Well, that concludes today's episode, and I hope that you learned something or garnered some type of information that was going to be useful to you. And if you have any suggestions on materials that I should be trying out so that you don't have to, go ahead and put a comment down below and I will add it to the list. If you happen to be new to the channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the bell so that you will get notified every single time that I drop new content. Thank you all so very much, and I will see you at the next episode.